Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be going over some new cream products from Fenty, and I think you guys already know what I'm about to say, not only because of the thumbnail and the title, but because we've all been waiting for these. I know it wasn't just me that got excited when they saw blushes from Fenty coming out, and not only blushes, but cream blushes and cream bronzers. I picked up two of each, two bronzers, two blushes, so that I could give you guys a little demo and see what worked for me, as well as to help you guys out, especially with the cream bronzers if you're trying to decide which color you should get. This might be of some help, but before I get into the demo, I have to give you the 411. First off, we have the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzers. The two shades that I got are Butter Biscuit number 2 and Macchiato number 3. This is what the packaging looks like. I already have my little fingerprints all over it, but I love the fact that it says cream across the front because this is the packaging of the powder bronzer. So it's nice to see the big cream written across the front so you know which one you are grabbing for. Now let me show you just side by side these two colors. This one is Macchiato, the darker one, and then Butter Biscuit. There they are side by side, and here are the swatches. Butter Biscuit is for fair to light skin tones, and Macchiato is light to medium skin tones. Each of these retail for $32, and you're getting 6.23 grams of product. The description reads, light as air, non-greasy cream bronzer that effortlessly melts into the skin for a natural looking bronze or soft contour. I have to say, when you're looking at some of these shades, especially the very first shade, that one's definitely more of a contour than it is a bronzer. So just kind of keep that in mind. Warmer tones are going to bronze, and then the cooler tones are going to contour. Not only is it light as air, but it's supposed to be sweat and water resistant. And don't worry, I did test that out. On top of that, it also says that the formula instantly melts into the skin without disrupting makeup. Now, I really ended up putting this to the test because I set my makeup. That's how I usually do my makeup, is do everything. I set it, and then even with cream products, I like for my cream products to work on top of powder. So you're just gonna have to see if it does or not. Now let's get into these tiny little babies. These are the cream blushes. Let me show you the size difference. I wasn't ready, you guys. I knew that these were going to be small. I was told about it. I expected it, and it still threw me off just how small they are when you see them in person. Like, this is the bronzer, this is the blush. This one again has 6.23 grams, and these have 3 grams. So it's almost half the amount, but it's not anywhere near half the size. It's like a quarter of the size. It's so strange to me. Anywho, let me show you the two shades that I got. I have Rose Latte, this one right here, and then Fuego Flush. They just look like little eyeshadows. They really look like eyeshadows. Hold on, let me get my MAC shadow. Look at this. This is a MAC shadow, and this is the blush. I can't get over this. Fuego Flush is a soft tangerine with shimmer, and Rose Latte is a soft bronze nude. Each of these retail for $20. Like I said, it has 3 grams of product or 0.10 ounces. So I did a little investigating, and if you're familiar with the cream color base from MAC, those are, to be honest, they're about the same size. I don't even have one. I wanted to do a comparison. The cream color base for MAC is $24 and just has a little hair more product, 0.12, so just barely anything over. Cost-wise, when you compare those two, this is a better deal. However, MAC also has these little palettes, and I have 2 of them, but I just grabbed one, and I think, did I grab the darker one? This is the bright blush. This palette right here is $40. It has 10 grams total, and if you take into account that this is 3 grams, so 3, 6, 9 grams is going to cost you $60, whereas this little palette right here is $40 for the 4. So if you want some range and you don't want to spend that much money, this is an option for you. But if you're going to compare to something like the cream color base, this is a better deal. The description for the cream blush is much like that of the bronzer. Light as air, non-greasy, they're natural looking, sheer, and can be built up. And then it also mentions these being sweat and water resistant as well, and not feeling sticky or greasy on the skin. Going into the demo, I decided to use a sponge because I had already set my makeup. If I knew the product a little bit better, I would have gone in with a brush as well. But when I was feeling these, they did feel like they were a little bit more emollient than what the description says. So I decided that a sponge was going to be the best option. However, you can apply these with your fingers. You can apply them with a sponge like I did, or a brush, just whatever you feel like doing. Today, I used a sponge. Here are the two cream bronzers I have. This one is a little bit lighter. This is Butter Biscuit number 2. This is the first time I've touched them. Feels pretty emollient. There's that shade. All right. And then the other one that I have is a little bit darker, and it is number 3 Macchiato. That's definitely much, much darker. I'm going to take a beauty blender and just kind of tap into this. I'm not going to grab too much because I don't want to start off with too much. I'd rather build and see how this goes. I'm going to start further back on my cheeks. I'm just stamping this in. Just picked up a little bit more. I really like the way it looks on my forehead. It's very natural. It doesn't appear to be picking up any of my makeup, like any of my foundation or powder, but it is leaving behind a sheen. I'll take the other end and just go right around the edges. I feel like I have a little bit of a line right here. So I'm trying to just take the excess and blend. And I'm looking in my mirror so I can see a little bit better. And because I have no like long hair, I have to make sure to kind of hold back my ear and get product right here. Otherwise, it's just like you can see the lines of demarcation. All right, first impression thoughts on this color. I love it on my forehead. I love the texture of it on my forehead. It's so natural, so beautiful. And it works on top of my powder, but not as nicely as other ones have. I feel like I got a little bit of accentuated texture on my cheek. It didn't lift up my makeup, which is nice, but I just feel like I have just a tiny bit of texture just accentuated a little bit. Now, because this wasn't too dark, I want to see what the other one is going to look like. I'm a little concerned. Like I could really mess this up, but we're going to try it out anyway. I'm just going to get the excess off this one because I don't want to change over to this sponge until I do my blush. So let me get the excess off. And now we are working with Macchiato. I definitely like the other color. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but it almost has like a slightly greenish undertone to it on my skin tone. So between the two colors, definitely this one I'm preferring so far. Yeah, I just feel like that looks kind of green. It's very strange. I'm taking this side. I just want to make sure that I didn't accidentally like contaminate the color. So I'm taking this side where I didn't have any of even excess or anything of the last one, and I'm bringing it down, and it still has that same tint to it. So it's not that they mixed or anything like that. It's weird though, because I don't feel like this side did as much texture as the other side. I don't feel like this is accentuating texture, whereas I feel like that this one is. It's almost like this one is not as emollient looking on the skin. Could be just the difference in color. I don't know. Butter Biscuit on this side. and macchiato on this side. Now let's get into the blushes. I already have one opened up. I'm going to put Fuego Flush on this side. I'm going to take one side of this new sponge, get into that. There's a little swatch for you. It looks like there's like tiny little micro shimmers in here, like micro. I've got it on my sponge. I'm going to tap off the excess on my hand and then go in. Look at the glow that gives you just with the blush. Here's one layer of the blush. I think it's really beautiful. And again, it didn't lift anything up. Let me get my mirror to make sure. No, nothing has been lifted. Everything is still nice and in place. I feel like I could have just a little bit better of a blend. But again, I think that when I go into buff and add my highlight and everything, I think it's going to be just fine. I'll see if I want to add a layer or mix the two after I put on a layer of this. I flipped my sponge around and I'm going to grab just a little bit of Rosé Latte. Now I took very little because I don't want this to be too dark on me. Oh, I love this color. Oh, see how nice and sheer that is? Oh, that's beautiful. I like them both. I'm taking the butt of my sponge, which has nothing on it, just going around the edges of that. Go around the edges of this one. Those are beautiful. Those are really, truly beautiful. I don't even know which one I like more. I like this one more with my eye look, but like the peachiness of this one, I am going to just kind of mix them so that I can kind of see if I can get some cohesiveness out of it. I'm going to go back in with Rosé Latte on this side. Kind of just go right over top of the last one. Switching back to the Fuego Flush side, right over top of the other one. Yeah, they're mixing really nicely. And I can tell you that Fuego Flush definitely has more of like a little bit of a sheen to it. Even when I'm looking at these now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of sparkle in this one. There's nothing in this one. Now that I have Fuego Flush on both sides of my cheeks, I feel like I have a nice glow to my cheeks. And I think this is beautiful, to be completely honest with you. But I still have to go in with my highlight. So I am going to take the YSL 3D All Over Glow Sonia G Mini Cheek. Go. SISLEY powder in 01 IRISEE and my Sonia G Face 1. I like to get just a tiny bit of powder. Lightly, normally I would put a little bit more pressure. I'm going to stamp right over the blush and then just lightly buff. And I think this is going to make everything come together so there's no lines or anything. Yeah, see how well that just kind of meshed everything just right back together? And I still have color. Taking a little bit of my By Terry powder in Rosy Light. Sonia G Detail Pro. I'm just going right around the edges, right underneath my eye. Making sure everything is nice and blurred. And by the way, I have a code with By Terry that is good through April 30th. It's just Mel on their website. So if there's anything you were looking at, it is an affiliate code. I do make commission off of it. If there's anything that you were looking at, you can use my code use my code MEL to get 20% off. And that is it. I feel like that everything is together now. But this is something that will really make cream products on top of powders look more seamless. If you kind of go around the edges, like I didn't put any blush on top of the cream blush. I didn't put any bronzer on top of the cream bronzer. I just went in with just a little bit of translucent powder that has a little bit of a sheen to it. Buffed around the edges, went right around the edges underneath my eyes. And it just makes everything seamless. But then you have this glow of the cream products. And yeah, I think it looks really, really nice. I'm going to go finish my lips and I'll be right back. I have to say, you guys, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And the reason why I say I'm impressed is because I was a little worried. I'm sure a lot of you saw what happened when I used the new Chanel bronzer, that the second ingredient is hydrogenated coconut oil, and my makeup just, it came off. It came off. There was no hope for it. No, it was terrible. These don't have that same ingredient. However, a little further down the line than what the Chanel one was, because that was the second ingredient in the Chanel, was hydrogenated coconut oil. This has coconut oil derivatives. So for me, this is going to be a no-go because I am sensitive to coconut oil and derivatives. Unfortunately, these are going to be a gift to somebody, but I'm happy that it didn't ruin my makeup. I was nervous because I was touching these and I feel a little bit more emollient than what it was implying online. And I got nervous, especially with my experience with the Chanel. So I'm very happy that my makeup stayed in place. I will say that on this side, I don't know if there is a difference just in the color, or maybe if I have more texture on this side. I'm not sure. But Butter Biscuit, I felt like I had a little bit more texture than what I did with Macchiato, which Macchiato, I feel like it works, everything looks good now with everything done, but I definitely prefer the Butter Biscuit color. After I went around the edges of everything with my powder, I feel like everything just came together. The blush is beautiful. Fuego Flush is just gorgeous. I don't think that the shimmer really has an impact as far as texture or anything like that, but I do feel like it gives a little bit more glow to the skin than what Rose Latte did. Both of them, I think, look so good. I love them separately. I love that this is not this dark. You could definitely build it up, but the fact that it still works on me, a light to medium skin tone, shows that these are more sheer and that you're able to build on them, which I really like. And then Fuego Flush, I live for that glow. I love everything, and I really like them mixed too. So I'm really happy with it. So verdict on the bronzers and the blushes, I think they're both beautiful and turned out really nice. I love the way they look on the skin. But are they water resistant? I am going to go ahead and insert this little clip right here and you guys can find out. All right, before I put this underneath the water, I just want to let you guys know this is on bare skin. I have the flash on my camera, or my phone on. Bare skin. This is foundation not set with the creams on top, and then this is foundation set with the same powder and everything I used today, and then this just on top of it, and I just tapped it in with my finger. Now we're gonna see just how waterproof or water resistant this is. Is it cold?
Yeah, but you turned on the hot one, so
okay. So it appears the biggest difference right now is that where it's just on the skin is darker, and it's not as dark where it's on top of the foundation and the powder. But it didn't come off. I wouldn't even really say it's fading. Now you go ahead and just kind of lightly rub across it. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, they can be done. Let's see. Sorry, your hands. So it definitely stayed on just the skin the best, but I would say it's water resistant. What do you think?
Yeah.
Ew, I can see your hair. Ew. As you can see from that clip, not only would I say that these are definitely water resistant, but you can also see just how pigmented they are on the skin versus on just foundation and then foundation set with powder. They lighten up a little bit whenever you have something else underneath them, which makes it a little bit more workable and a little bit more buildable. And then you could also tell that when they're just on the skin and there's nothing underneath them, they like almost didn't move. So this is going to be really nice for those of you that maybe you don't want to wear foundation, but you want to add a little bit of color to your skin, and say you're having like a beach day or a pool day and you just want to add a little something. I think that this could be nice. Now for me, unfortunately, the ingredients with the coconut oil derivatives, it just doesn't work for my skin type. It breaks me out. That's just something that's true to me. Doesn't mean it's going to be true to you. I wanted to do this video so that you guys could see how it performed, and if you do makeup like me, how it performs on top of powder, and if it would lift the makeup or not, how it looked, to give you guys some swatches. And I gotta say, I really, really do enjoy them. It's kind of a shame that it has that in there, but I'm not doing the breakout thing. I'm just not gonna do it. So I'm gonna gift these to somebody, but I think these are really nice. I will say, if you're somebody who sets your makeup like I do, I would be careful. Don't go in with too much product right away. It's harder to take something off, especially if you've already set your makeup, than it is to just add a little bit more. So start off light and then build, and just use a tapping motion. Even if you're gonna be using a brush, I would suggest a smaller brush and then tap, and then kind of go in like little circular motions with that tapping type of method. And you can use your fingers as well, and it's going to be much easier to apply on top of not set foundation. That's just not my style. Now, if you guys want to see a super in-depth, amazing review and all 10, she picked up all 10 of these blushes, go to my best friend's channel, Kelsey Brianna Bay. It's J, but Dr. Bay here on YouTube. I'm going to link her down below. She bought all 10 of these blushes and she put them all on, and she gave you guys a million different ways to use the product, what to do if you mess up, and just so many different things. She killed it with her review, and I have to put her down here. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did by giving a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and know that I love you all so much. I'm thinking of you, and I hope that you all are safe and healthy. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.